Here is an explanation for the answer to final exam, question number 79 in Alternative Energy Demystified, 2nd edition. If you have the printed book, please see page 328 for both the question and the relevant figure, figure exam-7. That's the same figure that applies to the previous question. We're being asked here what the component marked X is. Is it a magma distiller, a fuel cell? I don't think I've ever heard of a magma distiller, have you? A fuel cell, a flash tank, a boiler, or a coolant tank? Well, let's look once again at the relevant figure. By the way, the answer to this question is D. It's a boiler. It's another one of those boilers in another system that makes steam to drive a turbine that produces electricity, just like a lot of power plants do, a lot of different types of power plants do. So that's the answer. Here's the diagram again, figure exam-7, and the component marked X right there in the middle. I have rearranged the geometry of figure exam-7 a little bit so it'll fit on this screen, so it's easier for you to view, but it's the same exact functional interconnection of components. We have this thing marked X here is a boiler. Boils water, produces steam, drives a generator, and sends the power out to the utility lines through a step-up transformer to get the voltage that is necessary for power transmission. Some of that steam, well, actually all of the steam, after it's passed through the turbine and produced the necessary torque to drive the generator, is condensed, and then it's pumped back into the boiler where it makes a cycle all over again and keeps going round and round and round like that. The heat to boil that water goes through a heat exchanger, and that heat exchanger transfers heat energy from this production well to the boiler. This hot water, or whatever, with other minerals in it, no doubt, comes up, goes into this heat exchanger and boiler system, recycles back down. It's pumped back down into the earth to produce the pressure to drive this water up, and the earth, the geothermal energy of the earth, produces heat, so this water comes up really hot, and that's what makes it possible to boil this water here. We can't just use this water that comes up out of the ground in the boiler, because this water is loaded with minerals and it would clog up the works. This is more or less pure water that goes round and around here, whereas this stuff most definitely isn't pure water. It has a lot of minerals in it. But anyway, that is what this component marked X is, and we sing the same old refrain. We have the boiler, we have the steam turbine, and we have the electric generator like that. That's how we get our electricity in a lot of different in a lot of different types of power plants. Coal-fired, oil-fired, methane-fired, even nuclear. It all almost always boils down to, no pun intended, boils down to produce this steam which drives the turbines. The only exception, of course, is photovoltaic or solar electric systems, where we get the electricity directly from the solar panels, or wind power, where we don't have to involve ourselves with any of this hardware. But that's what it is. That's what that component marked X is. It's a boiler, and that, once again, is choice D.